Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where today we're going to be diving into the expanded and updated, after the final trailer, Rise of Skywalker, Act 2. This is from the Jedi Paxis, very credible source based on all of the trailers. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Welcome back to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell not once but twice so that you're always notified the second a new video goes live. Alright, with that being said, we're going to throw out a spoiler warning just so that anybody who doesn't want to know anything more about the Rise of Skywalker than you already do doesn't get this movie spoiled. Because Jedi Paxis is a very credible source based on all of the footage we've seen thus far. Alright, but with that being said, let's jump in to the Rise of Skywalker updated Act 2. The Jedi Paxis disclaimer. Due to the fact that the Rise of Skywalker has gone through some reshoots, the film is currently being edited, and the basic nature of leaked information in general, I cannot guarantee that everything you read here will make the final cut of the film, just as I describe. My sources assume that the majority of the film has been outlined here and will more than likely consist of some combination of pre- and post-reshoot elements. That being said, there will undoubtedly be severally surprised unaccounted here for sure. That's just part of the nature of leaked information. What the final combination of story elements will look like when December rolls around is anybody's guess. Act 2. The heroes of the Resistance make their way to the snow-dusted planet on Kijimi to execute their plan to discover what secrets the dagger held. The Resistance team arrives on the planet and bump into Zorii Bliss and her crew. She reveals that Poe has a colorful past, once functioned as a spice runner and still owes her money. A quick skirmish occurs where Rey gets the upper hand and Zorii agrees to bring them to Babu Frik. To hack 3PO's programming to read the Sith dagger, I'm told we have a quick cut this point back to Kylo where we find out the Knights of Ren have tracked the Resistance team to Kijimi. Babu Frik tells everyone that he can unlock the message to be read, but in doing so, 3PO's memory will be wiped. Still reeling from the loss of Chewbacca, the heroes argue about finding another way to get the job done. But in an act of self-sacrifice, 3PO voluntarily consents to the modifications, knowing that the droid we've all known for years will essentially die. According to the Jedi Paxis source, this scene is reportedly one of the most emotional scenes in the film. Babu Frik completes the hack and 3PO is now able to read the inscribed message on the dagger. This translated text points them to the location of the Emperor's own wayfinder. Having served this purpose, 3PO's memory wipe begins and he shuts down, giving him the red eyes. Once the memory wipe is complete, 3PO reboots with a completely empty memory. Zorii and Poe reminisce about old times, sometime around or during the 3PO sequence. I'm told that there is some lingering connection there, even though they had some sort of falling out in the past. Poe tries to convince Zorii to join them. She turns him down, but she understands the good in what Poe is trying to do and gives him a First Order Captain's Medallion as a gesture of goodwill to help get them through the First Order security. She had been saving to buy this medallion on the black market as her ticket off Kijimi and away from her spice running days, but instead gives it to Poe. Kylo's Star Destroyer arrives on the planet and Rey senses that Chewbacca is indeed alive. This is the motivation for the crew to go up to Kylo's ship, not retrieving the Falcon. Kylo spends much of this time antagonizing Rey. Some of this conversation revolves around her parents and the truth behind the dagger. It was once used to murder her parents. Many years ago, Ochi was sent to murder Rey's parents, who were trying to hide Rey from the galaxy. Ochi succeeded, leaving her parents as nobodies to be forgotten by that galaxy. Where Ochi failed was with Rey. He could not find her, so he left her behind on Jakku. This is what Rey remembers, the ship leaving in the wake of her parents' murder, not her parents abandoning her. Rey lashes out at Kylo during this bond, and their lightsabers clash. Having gotten everything he needed from Rey during this session, he cuts off the bond. As Kylo makes his way down to the planet, our heroes make their escape. We see that Palpatine's orders to Hux and Pride are being carried out as children are being rounded up by soldiers of the First Order. First Order Star Destroyers above Kijimi. As the heroes escape in Ochi's ship, the group makes the decision to use the passage device to board the Star Destroyer and recapture the Millennium Falcon. The device works as advertised, and the ship lands without question. On board the Star Destroyer, the droids log on to the ship's computer network to locate Chewbacca. Rey splits off, feeling as if something is calling to her. Meanwhile, the others find Chewie, but their rescue attempt fails and they are all taken captive. The calling Rey feels is caused by the dagger, which draws her into Kylo's living quarters. Rey finds and grabs Ochi's dagger, but when she does, it gives her visions of what happened to her parents. Ochi found and killed them with that dagger, and that her parents were trying to hide her from Ochi. When she breaks free from the vision, a bond with Kylo begins. Kijimi. Back on the surface of the planet, and having grown tired of fruitless search of Rey, Kylo initiates another force bond with her. He discovers that she is on his Star Destroyer, and a lightsaber duel breaks out between the two of them across 2 different locations. Kylo on the surface of Kijimi, and Rey aboard the Star Destroyer. During this encounter, Kylo reveals there is more to the story behind Rey and her parents. Ochi was sent to find and recover Rey, not kill her. Her parents just got in the way. She is still wanted for the darkness that resides within her. It's clear that by this point in the story, Kylo is fully committed to what the Emperor's mission is for him. Once Rey and Kylo's force bond duel ends, Kylo makes his way back to his ship, and Rey grabs the dagger and Chewbacca's bandoiler and bolts. Rey bumps into a fresh-minded 3PO along the way, hands him Chewbacca's effects and the dagger, and tells him to make a run for it while she stalls Kylo. It is during their confrontation in person that Kylo reveals Rey's Palpatine lineage. When it appears that all is lost for our heroes that have been captured by the First Order, General Hux arrives and surprisingly not only allows them to escape, but points them in the direction of the Falcon. Hux was the mole within the First Order, and Finn and Poe had received information from. Rey and the other heroes make a break for the Falcon and escaped. After they leave, apparently, it's now Pride who delivers the fatal blow to Hux, not Kylo. During this period, he tells Kylo that even though they don't have the dagger, they know where the Resistance is going, because they scanned it while it was still in their possession. I'm also told that Rey escapes by just barely jumping into the Falcon while it's on the edge of the hangar. Pride kills Hux for treason of the First Order, and from this point on, General Pride is the sole commander of the First Order military. The Emperor contacts Pride and demands that he use one of the specially equipped Star Destroyers to destroy Kijimi as an act of loyalty, and Pride complies. Endor. The information gleaned from 3PO's translation of the dagger reveals the second location, the Wayfinder device, which turns out to be aboard the wreckage of the second Death Star on the forest moon of Endor. Along their way to the wreckage, the crew comes in contact with a person named Jannah. It is revealed that she was press-ganged into the First Order service as a child, but eventually escaped and found her way to Endor, where she has been living for some time. At this time, it is revealed that she is the child that Lando lost to the First Order all those years ago. Jannah provides way with transportation to the Death Star wreckage. Finn and Jannah apparently chase after Rey to and on the Death Star wreckage as seen in the final trailer. Rey makes her way to the Death Star wreckage and begins climbing her way through its twisted remains. One of my sources told me that this scene feels very reminiscent of the activities we see Rey doing when we first are introduced to her in The Force Awakens. She eventually reaches the Emperor's throne room and discovers a chamber connecting to that room that contains the second Wayfinder. Rey approaches the object and picks it up, which induces a vision of possible future for herself. In this vision, we see a version of Rey that has been enveloped by the dark side, as seen in D23 footage. Sources have told me that the voice of Palpatine may be heard during this scene. The vision shocks Rey and she stumbles back into the throne room where Kylo Ren is waiting for her. Kylo takes possession of the Emperor's Wayfinder, destroys it, and indicates to Rey that the only way to get another Wayfinder is to go through him and take Vader's. A lightsaber battle ensues, beginning in the throne room and eventually transitioning to exterior wreckage among the crashing waves. The Resistance Jungle Base. Off in another part of the galaxy, while Kylo and Rey clash sabers, bright light in the universe begins to fade. Leia is dying. Evidently, Luke's appearance to Leia before her death has been cut out. I'm told that this was just voiceover, so it wasn't difficult to do. But it's gone at the moment all the same. Although there doesn't seem to be any sign of Luke during Leia's death, I'm told that R2 is with her in her final moments. This scene and Rey, Kylo's fight on the Death Star are cut back and forth. Endor. As their battle rages on, both Kylo and Rey sense the death of their respective mother and mentor. I'm told that Palpatine senses her death too, making him more confident that Rey now has nobody to turn to but him. Sometime around here, Palpatine orders Kijimi to be destroyed as the first ships of the Sith fleet reach deployment altitude. They both react, but Rey recovers from the shock sooner and leverages the moment to take Kylo's weapon from him and stab him through the chest with it. In the aftermath of their concluded duel, Rey declares to Kylo that she will never be like him and fall to the dark side. She exercises her newly found healing ability to save Kylo from death, steals his ship along with Vader's wayfinder device aboard it, takes off, leaving her enemy behind. After Rey leaves the forest moon, the remainder of the Resistance crew boards the Falcon, along with their newly found ally Jannah, having spent the duration of Rey and Kylo's fight repairing the ship and return the hidden base on the jungle planet. Broken and defeated, Kylo Ren remains on the wreckage of the second Death Star, where he is visited by a vision of his father. Han speaks to his son, telling him that it's never too late to return to the light and make the right choice. The conversation has a profound effect on Kylo, and in a symbolic gesture, he discards his lightsaber and walks away from the darkness and the identity of Kylo Ren.